Hello, and thank you for joining today's special webcast, How to Organize for a Differentiated B2B Customer Experience. I'm Stacy Starka, one of the Distinguished Principal Research Fellows in Human Capital here at the Conference Board. Today, we will be discussing some of the critical questions that we're going to be answering today, how customers' experience can be a differentiator for organizations, why is customer segmentation critical to creating a great customer experience? All parts of an organization must be aligned to the strategy to create a good customer experience, and understanding the 4 steps necessary to create a great customer experience. This webcast is approved for CPE credits. If you haven't done so already, please click the link in the CEU request pod to sign up for any available credits for this event. The pod is located in the bottom right corner of the webcast console. Remember to stay logged in for the entire webcast and to respond to the 3 little pop-ups throughout the program. To get the most out of this webcast, make sure to utilize the engagement tools. They're located at the bottom of your screen. Using these, you can ask questions of the presenters and download any available resources. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming our guest for today, Sharon Moura, Principal and Client Executive, and Doug von Feldt, Engagement Executive at Align.org Solutions. Sharon, Doug, take it away.
Thank you, Stacy. Welcome, everybody, and Sharon and I are excited to be here for today's presentation and talking about our B2B customer experience. We'd like to get started with just talking about how relevant is the concept of having business or B2B, business-to-business customer experience within our organizations today. We hear a lot about sort of B2C customer experiences, but what we'd like to focus on is what are the concepts and the ideas to make a more successful business-to-business customer experience. What I'm showing you on the screen are some more recent quotes and sort of sound bites around some of the important relevance of experiences from a business to business. You can see some of them that are very similar to what you might expect from a B2C type of environment when you have working with your end consumers. But the same concepts go to working with internally with another business that you do business with. And I like, one of the particular ones, as you can see towards the last slide, part of the slide there, says 84% say the experience is as important as product or service. So a lot of companies, even B2B companies, are saying experience is extremely important. And so what we're going to focus on today is thinking about how can we create a great B2B journey and a customer experience. So the first thing we want to do is we have a start of a poll. And we just want to get your input that we'll use it in the next slide. So if you take a look at the questions here, and the question is, what is a differentiating customer experience? So of these 4 questions, how would you describe what a differentiating customer experience? You could think about from a B2B or a B2C type experience. So we'll give you a few seconds to complete the poll. All right, we've got a few people. Looks like we're getting a few people submitted responses. That's great. So we just have a few more people. We'll just go for another few seconds. All right, I think we've got most of the poll done. If you haven't had a chance, hopefully you got a chance if you wanted to do that. So let's see what our responses are. So good. A first response is one that distinguishes your organization from competition. So about 36, 37% said that. And about 57, 58%, one that customers value and is the reason they choose you. I think those are great responses. I do like it that the two bottom ones weren't selected, because I don't think those are probably what we would recommend as a great customer experience. So let's talk about each of these in just a little bit more detail. So if we think about, from our perspective, the is and the is nots of a great customer experience, you'll notice that we do also believe that the two that were most selected in our poll, we also agree with. One of the things that we find when we're working with organizations as a consultants is that many of the organizations and many of us think that in order to have a great customer experience or a great differentiated customer experience, we have to be great at everything. We always want to try to say, in order for us to be successful as a business, our customers need to think of us as being, the best at everything we do. And you notice that's on the sort of the right side of this. And we would say that is probably not a differentiated experience and probably not sustainable to be good at everything. So one of the tenets we're going to talk about today is how do we think about what are the key things we need to be really good at, and maybe some things that we don't have to be great at if we're going to deliver on the really good things. Okay, so that is a very important concept that we'll carry throughout our webinar. So the first thing we need to do as we start thinking about how do we develop a differentiated experience for our customers, the first thing is focused around our customer journey. So many times, if we want to have a good customer experience in a differentiated way, it's important for us to think about how we interact with our customers. So if we're a business and we want to interact with other businesses, one of the critical things we can do is create a roadmap of how we interact with those customers. And if you notice the top two, we have sort of checked here as good examples of a customer journey. And you notice that they are just sort of key steps of how a customer interacts with us. So a customer may come to us on a customer journey that says they're going to explore options on how they interact with us. They're going to evaluate our products or services. They're going to purchase products or services from us. They're going to install and operate products or services. This journey map and these experiencers are from the customer's perspective. It's the customer's viewpoint. You notice the bottom one, we have it checked as probably not a great journey map, because we are thinking that bottom one is looking at it from the eyes of us as the business. So we're thinking about how we interact with the customer versus how the customer interacts with us. And a good journey map is focused on how the customer interacts with us. So as we work with organizations a lot, we do help them think through what is the right journey map. And they're not all the same, but having a good one is important, because what we will talk about here in the next few slides is for each of these steps along the way is we need to determine where do we want to have a differentiated experience versus maybe just an okay experience. Because as I mentioned before, one of the things that creates difficulty as we think about our strategy and creating that differentiated experience is we can't be good at every step along the way. Organizations who try to be great at